Nick's countdown is terrible, and hello and welcome into Talking Bengals. We're gonna get the production quality better at some point, I promise everybody.
No, we
But
won't.
this is the world's realest podcast, and that's where it seems like we're just gonna be real. That's how it happens. And great things going on for the Bengals. Another preseason game that really doesn't matter, but the backups look good. I thought the backups played well, so that was good to see. And Nick, how we doing?
We're 2-0, baby.
Yeah,
2
two
and
and zero
0.
somewhere. I like it. That
Hey,
doesn't
we're
matter where.
undefeated. We're undefeated, even with our backups in. Undefeated.
It was actually a fun game to watch, though. Usually preseason is not entertaining. It's just
I
like,
know.
oh, this is just bad football. But it was entertaining. I mean, I'm glad the Bengals came out on top, but it was at least a good game. So it looked well. It worked out good.
Yeah, I mean
But
it's just
big things.
I was gonna say, preseason football normally sucks. But man, was that fun to watch.
Yeah, receivers showing out. People actually making plays. Josh Johnson looked like he wasn't 40 years old. I mean, I don't know about you. He makes me feel bad about myself that I'm not in better shape. Out there, 40, just running and juking a bunch of 20 somethings.
No. Doesn't make me feel any worse or better.
Yeah. We also don't make millions of dollars to do that. So
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'd probably be more motivated if we made millions of dollars. Speaking of motivation, people who it's kind of sad to see them go because they've had some fun moments for us. Cody Ford, happy
Yeah.
trails, best of luck. You had a really fun play last year. You did some contributing 2 years ago, and wish you all the best. Hope you have a good career somewhere else and just lose when you play the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, best luck to you, Cody Ford. It was fun while we had you, kind of. Best of luck to you as long as you're not playing the Bengals.
All right, so that brings the question. The tackle room is weak, extremely weak after the two starters. So what are we going to do for a swing tackle? Is that person, I'm going to give you three options here and let you run with it. Is that person on the roster currently? Is it a person we're going to pick up after they get cut by another team? Or are we trading?
For a swing tackle. Here's the caveat there. If I say he's already on the roster, who's it going to be?
Yeah, you got to name them.
If I say that we're going to go trade for him, who are we going to trade for? If I say we're going to pick somebody up in free agency that's still out there, who?
Well, you don't know cap casualties. You don't know though. You don't know who's going to get cut this week.
I want to say he's already in the locker room. That's what I want to say. And I want to say that because I want to have faith that these guys are getting paid millions of dollars to make correct decisions.
Yeah, I disagree. It's totally going to be a trade. Chuck Sizzle, he can go bye-bye. Tanner Hudson, you could trade him. Chris Jenkins can trade him. TJ Slayton, you could trade him. Any one of those guys gets you a good swing tackle. That's because you can't leave it to chance. You have Mitch Tinsley even. I would trade Tinsley for a good backup tackle because you have a wealth of receivers. You have enough good tight ends. I mean, Tanner Hudson's a good tight end. I'm not trying to put him down, but he's not an expert at anything. He's kind of a guy that can do a lot of things. But you have Eric All, who's an all-around tight end. Mike Gesicki's a better receiving tight end. Drew Sample's a better blocking tight end. And then if you are hard up for, backups for those, the kid from Texas is a good Gesicki backup. And then Cam Grandy is a good backup to Drew Sample. So you have depth. Do you have another all-around tight end? No, but I mean, what's going to be more important in the long run? Can you build an offense around a tight end deficiency? Or if your starting tackle goes down, you got to have somebody that can block.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. We need more depth in the line. More depth on the line will only help. There's no such thing as enough depth at the offensive line positions. Now, having somebody that can play both tackle and guard would be huge. But the problem is if you have someone that can play tackle really well, are they really going to be able to play guard really well?
We're not really hurting at guard. The young guys look good enough to develop, I feel like, at this point. So they may not be ready as backups, but could develop.
I'm not saying like ready as backups. I'm just saying that could a guard play a tackle position? Why not? But could a tackle play the guard position? No.
Sometimes, not often, but sometimes.
I mean, they could play the position, but can they play it well?
No, probably not.
Not usually. So the problem that we're going to run into is that we have all this depth at guard and center, but we don't have the depth at tackle. So either the Bengals are planning, the front office is planning on making a move,
which is the right idea.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time this season they've made a move.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and this is the big or, they're planning on just going with what we got.
Yeah, well, that is not the move to make, in my opinion. That is saying Orlando Brown is not going to suck, which I was not been overly impressed with him, and that Amarius Mims is going to stay healthy. That's a big what if for 17 games, and hopefully, what do you say, 20, maybe 21, depending what round they have to play in. That's a lot of football. Just have two guys who are huge human beings, a lot of pressure on all their joints to stay completely healthy, and one of them is over 30. So it's like, it's a big risk. And you're trusting guys. Now, don't get me wrong. We went to the Super Bowl with the Sisters of the Blind as our offensive line. But we would have won the Super Bowl if we had a good offensive line.
True. I don't have a rebuttal for that. That's 100% true.
Straight facts.
Yep. So enough about offensive line. What else?
Wide receivers. That's where, I think I've already made it clear that I think Charlie Jones is on the outside looking in, but that's still a bunch of people in that room. If we're only keeping 6, who are the 6 you think they're going to keep? Obviously, you know who number 1, 2, and 3 are. So who's 4, 5, and 6?
T and Jamar, Yoshi, Young. After T, Jamar, Yoshi, and Young, I don't know.
You got to pick somebody.
Let me pull them up.
All right, I guess I'll go ahead and just give you mine then while you're pulling it up. Well, so for me, it's here. Oh, you got it? Oh, he's ready. He's got a stat sheet.
Yeah, there it is. Tinsley. So outside of T, Jamar, and Yoshi, Tinsley, Colby Young. It's a toss-up on the 6th. I don't think Charlie Jones is in the mix.
No. Personally, I think it's going to be the obvious 3 at the top. Then it's going to be Dante Meyer, Mitch Tinsley, and Colby Young. That's who your receivers are going to be. And then you got a couple of them on the practice squad. But I don't see any way Charlie Jones makes the team. And that's what Zach Taylor kind of hinted at, talked about today. The people playing on Friday night this week, don't have jobs yet. They're playing for their jobs. So will we see Charlie Jones play? Will we see some of these other guys who are on the bubble play? Or are we just, you're on the outside looking in at this point. So good luck.
Yeah. Well, depending on how Zach Taylor looks at it, Charlie Jones may not be competing for a job because he already has one.
He could be. I think that's the wrong decision, but
Yeah, I mean, one of the rare occurrences that we actually agree. Yeah. But at the same token, he's been on the field a lot.
yeah, but not as a. I think the problem is if you could get either Dante Meyer or somebody
Colby
else
Young.
that could, or Colby Young, somebody that can return a kick or catch a punt. That's all Charlie Jones does. Charlie Jones has not had any impact on the offense at all in his career.
Agreed.
So I mean, what's the point? You got guys who can be playmakers, and yes, I understand punt returning is important, kick returning is important, but we just need somebody who's not going to fumble. That's basically one touchdown a year is not worth keeping a guy. If you don't have someone that's completely electric, your only job is to not fumble and not fair catch and catch the ball at the 5 yard line.
Yes.
Like it's just a couple things you have to do as a punt returner. Don't fumble. Anyone, don't fumble.
I mean, I'll just settle for somebody who just can catch a darn kick.
Yep.
At this point, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If you've ever tried to catch kickoffs or punts, it's not as easy as it looks.
Yep.
But in the same token, when you practice that much, it gets a heck of a lot easier.
Yep. I mean, heck yeah, just don't fumble. It's that easy. Don't fumble the ball when you're trying to catch it. Don't make dumb decisions. I'm not going to say it's an easy position. Like I said, it's harder than you think it is, but it's hard to be great at that position. It's not hard to be average. And that's really all you need is don't lose us a game on special teams.
Yeah, I would agree. Don't lose as a game on special teams. That's the biggest key. Let's see. How about Jamar Chase going down in practice today?
He's fine.
Yeah,
That was just a little bit of aggravation, a little bit of tenderness. That crap happens. Just let him take the next couple of days off and rehab and rest and recover, and he'll be fine. I mean, that's the thing. At this point, don't worry too. He knows how to play.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really want to beat a dead horse with him, but I mean, if he says he's fine, I kind of want to make him prove that he's fine. To be honest,
seems like a Monday problem. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Do that after the last preseason game. Just be like, hey, dude, rest, go on the practice, like the side field, and do some rehab drills and all that fun stuff. But he'll probably be out there tomorrow or the next day, I'm assuming, because that's just who he is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to baby the guy. I wouldn't want to baby him by any means. But also, I wouldn't want to put him out there and test it.
Yeah, personally, I said I would put him on the side field for the rest of the week, and then Monday he can go back out there if he's feeling fine.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to prove.
I agree. Nothing to prove. It's Jamar Chase. Where do you know what he can do?
There's not a whole lot of contradictions on this episode. We're not fighting on stuff on anything.
What
we got to
about
pick something to fight
Money
over.
Mac? Let's just put it this way. Money Mac, the most 50-plus yard field goals in the preseason in a career.
Kind of a dubious honor, like Crash Davis having the most home runs in the minor league. Like, it's a little bit like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that is. I mean, it's kind of a knock on your offense, to be honest with you.
It is.
Like, oh, you can get across the 50, but good luck getting past the 40.
It's one of those, like, you'd much rather that be in the regular season category, not the preseason category.
Yeah, I would agree.
But he's kicking well. That's all we need to focus on is he's kicking really well. It looks like the snapper, holder, and kicker are all in sync, which is great. That's what you need going into the season. So that's the positive there.
Yeah, I like the snapper, holder, kicker. I like how that's working out well for him right now. One thing that I really want to point out, kicking wise, Rico, he's been booting it.
Mm-hmm.
He's really been booting it, and I really like seeing that out of a punter.
Oh, yeah. He's had some clutch. He's downed them inside the 20 multiple times, inside the 10 a few, inside the 5 once or twice. That's what you need.
Yeah, I mean, like, um, as I've mentioned before, I helped coach my fifth grade son's team for football, and our punter, he had this crazy good punt, and it just rolled into the end zone, just barely. And like, I was about to lose my mind with how good of a punt it was. I mean, it looked like it was going to go coffin corner, like the coffin corner kick.
Yep.
Just right smack dab at the flag, and like just go out right before it hit. But man, it took that last bounce and went left, and right in the end zone. I was like, oh, my heart, my heart.
It's still impressive punt though. Punting is not an easy thing to do when you're trying to put it down in certain places.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was really trying to kick it as far as he kicked it. But I mean, he got a hold of it. It was awesome. It was awesome. Dude,
I do remember a guy who had a backwards kickoff.
Backwards kick.
Yeah, it went about 3 yards forward and then started bouncing back the other way.
Who did that?
I'm talking to him.
Yourself?
No, you did it in a scrimmage.
Backwards?
You did in a scrimmage in what was it? I think it was Grant County. You were in 5th grade. I was in 6th grade. You kicked off and it rolled and hit a rock and then went back the other way.
I think you're making stuff up. I did have a punt go backward, like sideways.
Yeah. No, because it was funny because you kicked it and it was so wet on the field that you couldn't get the ball off the ground because the tee was like sunk into the mud. And you kicked it and it just kind of slipped off and it rolled about 5 feet and then hit a rock and started rolling back the other way. It was funny.
I don't remember that. I do remember.
I'd assume you would not remember it because it was we all laughed so hard. It was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I remember being was it sophomore year? It was cold as you could possibly get outside in November. My foot was frozen and the ball was frozen. And I'm back there trying to punt. The ball, I get the ball, I'm like, oh crap. And I go to punt it, and it hits off my foot. And I swear I kicked it right where you're supposed to punt the ball. And the ball just goes straight right. Oh, I was so embarrassed. Thankfully, the next time I kicked, I just took a step to the right and then kind of cross kicked it, and it went forward on the next punt. But geez, Pete's, man, I've never been embarrassed like that in my life.
Except for the memory you totally blocked out because it was so embarrassing.
Oh no, there's no blocking that one out. That was traumatic. But luckily we weren't playing a very good team. But so I mean, this is the last off season, technically, podcast that we're going to be doing this year. And I wanted to give you the floor for an off-season topic, Casey.
Well, tragedy today. Lost Dolly Parton. I'm a big Dolly Parton fan. Really sad about that. Not only as a musician, but as a human being, just absolutely top-notch human person. Everybody loves Dolly. If you don't love Dolly Parton, don't have to like her music if it's not your cup of tea. But as a human being, just an absolutely wonderful person. So, in honor of Dolly Parton, we are going to have to pick our favorite song from her. You got to pick what your favorite Dolly Parton song is.
9 to 5.
Yeah. That's a good one. I like 9 to 5. And even though I have Islands in the Stream as my headline, I got to go with I Will Always Love You. It is a beautiful song. She wrote the song. There's a very personal meaning to it for her. And even though Whitney Houston, she admitted, Whitney Houston made the song even better than she ever imagined. Still, just when you hear her sing it, you can feel the emotion in it. And it's just a beautiful song.
I wasn't a big Dolly Parton music fan. I was more of a fan of what she did outside of the music industry. Like we were talking about it at work today, and how she does how her organization did the free books to kids.
Yeah, Imagination Library.
Yeah, we have our daughter with enrolled with that. She reads every book that comes in. And then on top of that, I mean, her crap, like Dollywood, while it is a form of an amusement park, there's a lot of an arts and crafts kind of, it's more like a craft fair
Oh,
than the amusement park. And she brings a lot of the local talent from Appalachia, the Smoky Mountains, Blue Ridge Mountains. A lot of local people are there. People from the area. They're not big names. They just brought in a lot of like the local talents. And I think that was a big thing for me when I first got to see that, seeing how much she gave back to where she came from. Where she understood that, yeah, I have all this fame and fortune, but, just because I've gotten this doesn't mean I can't give back. I'm not bigger than anybody else.
Yeah, philanthropy was huge. That's what you should live your life. If you're so blessed to have those opportunities and the funds to make a difference, you should.
Yeah.
And in a good way. Don't be a sleazeball and make dumb decisions with your money. Give back. Pay it forward. All right, your off-season topic.
The final off-season topic. All right. Message to youth sports parents.
Oh, God.
When you approach your kid's coach, come with the expectation that you don't see everything and that you're not there on the field with everything. You don't see everything at practice. You don't see everything at games. The coaches do. The coaches are there to see the attitudes. The coaches are there to see the effort that's being put in. The coaches know what plays are being ran, what each assignment's supposed to be doing. And at least for us at football, we have 2 coaches at any point in time watching each skill group.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we need to make adjustments, pull a kid in or out, we're doing that. So when you come to talk with the coach, give you three tips. First, come to the conversation ready to be wrong. 2, be respectful. Right? These coaches, none of them are getting paid. Mm-hmm. Right? Especially with Pee Wee football or, rec league baseball, none of us get paid. We're out there because we love it. We want to teach these kids how to love it and what it takes to love the game and to actually be good at it. 3, if you're mad, save it for later. Calm down, take a breath. Ask to meet with one of the coaches when you're not mad.
Tomorrow.
Yep. If you can't calm yourself down and have a rational conversation with the mind frame that maybe I'm not seeing something, don't have the conversation because it's not going to be beneficial for you or your child. Now, ramifications for that. You do that now in youth sports. When you do that into high school, they're not going to make teams. They're not going to make teams because they're not good enough. They're more than good enough most of the time. They're not going to make the team because the coach doesn't want that on the team. And by that, I mean you.
Yep,
so if I'm speaking my mind and speaking my piece, if there's one thing that my mom and dad, we both know my mom and dad very well. Mm-hmm. There's one thing my mom and dad did really well. They stayed out of it. They let me as the athlete, my brothers as the athletes, my sister as the athlete. They let us talk to the coaches and figure out what's going on. They made us do it. It taught us responsibility. It taught us how to approach our coaches. And it taught us how to be coached. how to be told, hey, this is what you need to do to get better. These are things that you can do to improve. Now, the positive ramifications of what I just explained is going into adulthood and you're in a job. You're not doing your child any service by going up and trying to belittle a coach. All you're doing is hurting the situation. And that's my piece.
And you're going to lose 9 times out of 10 when you go up against a coach. And it's
10 out of 10.
people, well, I'd say 9 out of 10 because sometimes an AD or somebody may disagree or see it differently. You know, there's the off chance it can happen depending on what level you're at. But it's just youth sports, people. And this is going to take. I'm going to pivot on your tangent a little bit. Go to mine, and it's what I sent y'all in the group chat. They had a signing day type ceremony for a 7U travel ball player. 1, why is a 7-year-old playing travel ball? 2, why are you hyping it up like he just signed at, I don't know, it's a big baseball school for college anymore. I don't watch enough college baseball.
Like Tennessee or A&M.
Yeah, there you go. Someone in the SEC that's, big into baseball. That is a 7-year-old kid. You're treating that like a milestone. He may not even know how to throw a baseball. I guarantee he can't turn a double play. Maybe hits the ball every few times. Yeah, that's normal, but we're building sports up to be people's entire life and their entire personality. And if you're growing up in this area or most areas, you will not make it. I'm just going to be flat out honest with you. That's not trying to kill your dreams. That is a statistical reality. There are universities, there are high schools, there are middle schools that all they do is produce athletes, and people pay huge money to send their kids there. Not all of those kids make it. You just have to understand.
Most of those kids don't.
Yeah. You have to understand that sports are not meant to be your career. Sports are not meant to be your trip to college. Sports are meant to be fun, the team building, resilience building, learning life skills, learning how to cooperate, learning how to get through hard times. That's what sports are for. If you're talented enough to make it to college, good on you. If you're good enough to make it to the pros, great for you. But it's a game. It was a game developed for entertainment and for recreation and for fun. No matter what game it is, that's all it was created for initially. No pro sport was ever originally for profit. Football started off in colleges. It was for fun. Baseball was literally played by soldiers. It was for fun. Basketball played in the wintertime inside with literal baskets, apple baskets. It was for fun. Stop trying to tell these kids that you're not good enough if you're not the best. And I mean, I've coached, and maybe I'm probably very biased on this because several teams I've coached are the island of misfit toys. They're kids that are not superstar athletes. They don't take it that seriously, but they love to play. And that's why I love to coach them. You're enjoying yourselves, you're getting better, you're learning to be resilient, and you're trying hard. If we don't win the championship, we don't win the championship. It's a little piece of plastic. That's all you get is a piece of plastic on a piece of what? Not even granite. What is it? Like just freaking limestone or whatever. Yeah. You're getting something silly, and that's all you're getting. And where did all your trophies end up, Nick?
They're in my basement.
Yeah. You kept every single T-ball trophy?
Oh no, all those like runner-ups and like honorable mentions and all that stuff. Like, no, I threw them out as soon as I got them.
Yeah, because they
don't want to remember second place. I want to remember like I played. I want to remember winning.
Yes, I think I have maybe 2 trophies. I have a championship trophy, like from a tournament that I won at like 16U. And then I've got signed baseballs from teams because those were fun. Those are the memories. Oh, I remember this guy. I remember that guy. But yeah, you don't need a trophy for every single thing you do. It's just a piece of plastic.
Like every kid gets some form of a trophy every year. And we can go off on a different tangent another night about that. sometime next offseason. But my big
Let the
thing,
kids play.
my big thing is like the baseball teams that I coach. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have some studs on those teams. Like, and it's not because I picked them because they're studs. Like, I picked them because I like their parents. Like, flat out. I'm gonna be honest with anybody who can ever listen to this. When I played baseball, when I played football, I hung out with the people that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I worked hard with the people that like to work hard. Everybody else who didn't want to work hard, well, that was their problem because I was going to outwork you. And that's the kind of mindset you have to have. That's high school. Now, college, everybody's working hard.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. I don't care if you play NAIA, JUCO, Division 1, 2, or 3. Everybody's working hard. You're just another dime a dozen. Every once in a while, you'll run across a player who's just like, dang, he's good. And, like, it's just the statistical anomaly that kind of a player is. I mean, you're talking about Ken Griffey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a Barry Larkin. You're talking about a Pete Rose, a Tony Gwynn, a Ted Williams, a Babe Ruth. The statistical anomaly that you're talking about is so low that it's going to be your child. Now, granted, if you want to teach him how to work hard, how to give 100% effort, how to have a great attitude while he's out there doing it, by all means, that is the right thing to do. But by trying to force playing time on, force the coaches to give your kid playing time, of course, I would expect nothing less of any parent to think that their child is the best player on the team. But you need to understand. You need to understand that you're not there at every practice. You're not there at all the games. Like, you don't see everything at the games. Even in baseball, the parents are right there at the dugout. They still don't see everything. Like, in baseball, I'm on the field the whole time. There's not a single moment that I'm not on the field. I see who hustles on and off the field. I see who runs out a ground ball. I see who pops out and doesn't run down first baseline. I see who, when the kid who watches strike 1 and 2, and if they're ready at the plate. I see the pitcher who takes a pitch off and just kind of throws a willy-nilly one and gives up a big hit because he threw the ball down the middle, and just kind of took a pitch off. I see the kid who's on offensive line who, after time and time and time again of me trying to coach different methods, just isn't getting it. Right? I see the kid who probably could get it and should get it, but just refuses to do what they're being told. Refuses to be coached. And I'm not the only coach, and your kid's not the only player.
No.
So
you're nothing if not verbose, my friend. I will give you that.
All right. Today's been a long day. And I just want to wish everybody a happy Who Day season. And in February, I want to be celebrating with all of you Who Day fans with that Super Bowl ring coming on Joe Burrow's finger. Who Day, baby.
Yep. We'll get some previews coming up the next couple of weeks and keep you all ready. We're in season mode. We're pumped. We're going to be excited moving forward. Follow us at all the places we are. Nick's got all the fun stuff down at the bottom of the screen. Like, subscribe, share. If we put stuff on social media at @talking_Bengals. And Who Day.
Who Day. Who Dey?
and Who Dey.